I was so honored over a year ago when I got a call from Matt Gagey saying, we would like to commission a work and we would like to have the Apple Valley High School Wind Ensemble be the group that premieres that work. And he wanted to commission that work in memory of his brother, Christopher Gagey. And if you read your program notes, it tells you a little bit more about Chris. Chris was an Apple Valley High School graduate who graduated as a percussionist and played in the jazz ensemble and was part of the wind ensemble as well, and went to West Point, and after he completed his duty at West Point, then went to Afghanistan and unfortunately was one of the casualties in the war and was killed in 2010. The Gagey family decided that one of the things that they'd like to do is to commission a piece. And we were fortunate to have Dr. Timothy Mahr from St. Olaf College be the person who agreed to compose the piece. The first thing that I'd like to do is, Mr. Dodge, if you could bring the house lights up a little bit. Several members of the Gagey family are here this evening. Some traveled from very far as Chicago, and I think even New Mexico. If we could have the Gagey stand, I'd like to recognize you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to premiere this work. We are also very fortunate to have the composer with us this evening, and it's so rare that you get a composer at your concert that I'm like, come down and speak. So, Dr. Mahr, would you come down and talk about your composition?
Well, good evening, everyone. It's a big honor to receive a commission. It's a chance to create. I guess I would start at that point. No matter what kind of artist you might be, the act of a commission is sort of the okay sign to spend time making new art happen. And so I feel blessed by that whenever it happens. What's been an additional blessing in this case is that I've gotten to meet the Gagey family, and I've gotten to know of First Lieutenant Christopher Gagey. They shared letters that he had written, music that he had written, poetry that he had written. And I had a chance to understand on a very sort of surface level an amazing, extraordinary young man. And that was a privilege that I'll hold dear for a long, long time. This is a work that could have gone a number of different ways, and it did. As I was bringing it out, it went patriotic for a while, it went sort of elegy for a little bit, and then I came back more and more to this idea of one of the quotes that he was so fond of. It's a Socrates quote that goes along the lines of, an unexamined life is not worth living. And he lived by that, it seems. He was always asking questions. Deeply philosophical and a well-read young man, and I think not only a model to all of us as far as patriotic service goes, but also just how to live your life. So I thought I'll maybe try to tackle that piece that we're about to hear. We're following a massive piece. Thanks for setting me up with it, But so I'll talk a little more. We'll sort of let that one go away for a while. An examined life, this work, still has a patriotic theme. You'll hear it come up within about a minute and a half at the start of the piece. It returns at the end of the piece. And I think it's important to understand that he heard this call to service and he answered it willingly. And we should all be thankful men and women who do this and give us the lives that we are allowed to live here. But also, there's moments of questioning within the piece, It starts with different layers of time. You hear the marimba have a certain layer, a suspended cymbal will give a little bit of a certain rhythmic layer, and then an oboe comes in. Completely sort of out of time, might seem. A little bit of an uneasiness. And when I met Randy Gagey, Chris's father, I found out that he was a professional oboist at one point in time, and I heard that we had a great oboe player here. And so that's all a composer needs to know. And so the solo oboe delivers some of the opening material for the piece. And for me, this was a father holding a child, hands, an infant, and thinking about the future. What kind of life will this young boy have? What kind of young man will he become? And he became such a magnificent young man. The piece energizes itself, it's spirited, it's full of life, hopefully. It quiets itself, it asks questions, and hopefully it has this sense of being a piece that is indeed reflective of an examined life, that we all should be digging a little bit deeper and asking the larger questions at hand. So I'd like to thank the Gagey family, Matt in particular, for thinking of me in this regard. I'd like to thank Corey and all the wonderful students here. I had a chance to work with them on 2 different occasions weeks ago, and they're already really well prepared, so this ought to be just stunning tonight. And thank you to the Christopher Gagey Leadership Foundation as well, and I would encourage you all to support that as that goes forward in time. It's a wonderful thing that they're doing. So now the premiere of an examined life.